Happy Thursday and welcome to the morning after. Today we're discussing, finally, Women Tell All. I'm so excited. We really needed this. And overall, I think this did not disappoint. I thought it was a good episode. So right off the bat, I'm going to go chronological order, as always. So Noah, they do the recap of the season so far, and Noah immediately goes to Dee, and I love that he did this, and he said, "What happened?" And I love that she was honest about it. She was like, "I still don't know." And she said she suspected Chris wasn't ready for a family. And I certainly felt this way. I talk about this in my Flair recap today, so I don't want to be redundant. I do feel like she didn't get the closure she deserved, considering she got the first impression rose, and in general, I kind of wish she'd gone even further. So she was like almost a little too careful, she was a little too PC. I kind of wish she'd like sort of called Chris out a bit more on that. But yeah, I talk about that in my Flair recap. Okay, moving on, Shanti. So Shanti gets hot seat time, which I think is a questionable choice, especially since you could tell she loved it, and it was annoying because she was not a prominent enough character in the season, I think, to have warranted it. Anyway, it's so predictable that Shanti would come out with like, ha ha ha, she's watching herself, and it's very unflattering, and you could tell that she was trying to paint it as funny as though she meant to do that. She's in on this, and she's sort of, I don't know, it was not convincing to me, and it kind of was a little sad, and I just sort of wish she had shown a little self-awareness and just been like, yeah, like, definitely didn't bring out the best in me, just sort of claimed a little responsibility, which she is proving time and time again to be incapable of doing. I also talk about this in my Flair recap, so I do not want to harp on that, but I do want to talk about when they discussed how she revealed that Dee has a daughter, and Dee mentioned, she's like, I never got an apology for that. And Shanti said, I instantly apologized. So she's recapping it, and Shanti says, I instantly apologized. And then Noah said, do you feel remorse? And then Shanti said, nope. Effectively nullifying the fact that she, apologized at any point. So it was just, moving on. I just can't. Hashtag can't. Okay, Megan, I don't want to talk about Megan here because I do talk about her at length in my Flair recap, but I thought she was delightful. Moving on. Brittany. Okay, so I don't talk about this at all in my Flair recap, so I want to talk about this now. I felt this felt rushed and glossed over and didn't do her and her time on the show justice. It's like she got the same amount of villain hot seat time as Shanti, and there's just no comparison. Brittany was around for a substantial amount of time, and especially since Brittany, there was more to delve in here. She wasn't laughing at it, she wasn't behaving delusionally, she was not being defensive or overly tight. It seemed like she was open to the conversation, and it's very possible that happened, but it was so skimmed over. It's like she sat there and suddenly it was over, and I didn't know what was established, really nothing. They kept referencing her being a queen, despite the fact that that was clearly a voiceover that they had Frank and bitten all over the place. Brittany doesn't bug me that much, you guys. I'm sorry. I'm not drinking the Brittany hating Kool-Aid. And okay, they painted her also very manipulative when they talked about her and Shanti, when Shanti was having a hard time, and Brittany went there to sort of manipulate her to get her to talk to Chris about the girls in the house. And okay, first of all, I'm gonna be straight up right now. With a personality like Shanti's, I would want to stoke that fire too, okay? She's basically asking for it. And second of all, Brittany admitted it. She owned it in an ITM that's why she did it. It's not like she was denying it or pretending it was something it wasn't. It was a much more frank, it was a lot more frank and just honest than Shanti's everything, her entire appearance, so it just wasn't the same to me. I don't think it was that bad. Yeah, I felt like I would want to, the girls claimed that she was a bully and, you know, was really mean to them. That's something I would have wanted to hear more about, and it was glossed over. Overall, less Shanti in all regards, and more details about why the girls have such an issue with Brittany, because I personally am not getting it, and I still don't get it, and when I really should have after Women Tell All. Katie. Katie, I say in my Flair recap today that she was MVP of this episode. She embraced Women Tell All for what it should be embraced for, which is a chance to show yourself in the now, in retrospect, and see the entire experience, the whole Bachelor experience, as an exercise in self-reflection and self-awareness. And I feel like Katie did all of those things. She pointed out, you know, when she had a hard time watching herself, and, you know, why she felt as hard as she did. And it was just, I like that I felt like Katie was now, and then that was Katie on the show, versus, like, still having the same fights they were having while on the show. So, I thought she was great. No complaints. She did everything perfectly. Then Chris comes on to talk to Katie. And, Chris. I have moments where I'm like, oh, I really like him. Like, I love how he dealt with Megan. And then he'll just do something, and I'm like, really? So Katie closes. You think she does not give him a hard time. She could have given him a far harder time, but she was very, very classy, and she says, I really cared about you. That's how she ends it. And he says, thank you. You guys, that is just not the proper response to I really cared about you. The proper response is I really cared about you too. And I should hope he did. I hope it wouldn't be a lie, because she was final 3. Anyway, in general, I thought Chris came off kind of either unhappy or uncomfortable. One or the other. I don't feel like Katie or anyone gave him a hard time. No one raked him over the coals when maybe they could have. And again, maybe it just wasn't shown, but in general, no one seemed to give him a hard time, and he just seemed like he did not want to be there. And I don't know, maybe he just was very shy or uncomfortable with a live audience, but that was my takeaway. So, the literally mashup was my favorite part of the episode, where they talked about all the literallys. And yeah, overall, a good Women Tell All. No complaints. A little short, but I'll survive. Thank you for tuning in to the morning after, and my Flair recap should be up by now. Be sure to check it out and let me know on Twitter what you guys think. I always love to keep the conversation going with you guys. So yes, thank you, and I'll see you next week for the finale on the morning after.